If you're thinking that you get a snake and you bring it home and you put it in an enclosure or a tub and give it the proper heating and water and food, then that's taking care of your snake. And in reality, for me, I do not believe that is the way you should take care of your snake. Hi everyone. Well, as I step over the light and everything that's in this crowded little room here, but you can see that Jessie is in desperate want of come out, which generally means that Jess needs to go to the loo. And it's been pouring rain, so I've waited. The sun came out and the rain has stopped, so I thought, wow, I had better be getting him out. But as you know, it's never an easy task with Jessie at all, so it's never one-handed. So I will get him out and we will get outside. So I have Jessie outside, as you can see, and as I said, it's pretty dull out here and looks like it could rain at any particular moment, you could say. So talking about, don't get a snake. Don't get a snake because, well, maybe I should say, don't toilet train your snake. And if you don't believe that you can, then sorry, but you can do that with your snakes. I have my bigger snakes that are toilet trained and do like to come on outside and go to the toilet, and unfortunately they don't care what the weather is like. If they need to go, then they need to go, you could say. So when I say don't get a snake, it's more about not getting a snake if there are things that you just don't want to do with a snake. And I mean, if you're thinking that you get a snake and you bring it home and you put it in an enclosure or a tub and give it the proper heating and water and food, then that's taking care of your snake. And in reality, for me, I do not believe that is the way you should take care of your snake. And I have said you can have your enclosure set up with everything that your snake will enjoy, and that is really wonderful, and I will say that is wonderful. But you will never beat being able to get them out, handle them, and give them other forms of enrichment outside. And also the biggest point being the interaction that they will have with you. And that is really, really important, because if you do not interact with your snake and spend time with your snake, then you are going to find that you won't be able to, at some point, that snake is really not going to like you. And if you get a snake, especially from the very beginning, many of them are quite calm, even as little ones. But if you get a snake that isn't and is quite nippy and you do not spend any time, I see people that are happy to use the word, I don't mind that they're a mean snake, and have no second thoughts about, well, it's a mean snake and I don't care. I don't understand that type of thinking at all when you have snakes in your life. So, keep them mean. Well, why would you want to keep them mean? I don't. That is just terrible, really. And not going and picking on the breeders at all, but a lot of breeders don't give a damn, and I completely understand that. And I'm sort of wanting to tune in with those that are just getting a snake for the pleasure of having a snake. And having the pleasure of a snake is spending time with it and being able to handle it and to offer it enrichment and not let it go under, caravans and, possibly completely and utterly disappear on you, and you get wet knees and all that stuff because you're letting, and it's even wetter over there than it is. Sorry, I'm trying to spin him around and drag him, drag my snake. That's okay. I can drag Jesse because Jesse, he really, see, wet knees, Jesse. Look what I do for you. Bring you out when it's wet and it's not chilly, it's cooler. But yeah, that's what we do, and I drag you with my foot and bring you over here while you attempt to crawl off as fast as your big booty can get off me. Hey mate. So yeah, I really want to see things change. And a care sheet, that care sheet isn't just heating and so forth. That care sheet should be about how to handle your snake, to learn to read your snake, to offer your snake not just a life within their enclosure or tub, but outside of their enclosure. And I want to see more people picking up a snake with that in mind. To know that is just the way you are meant to take care of a snake, and not the other way around. Not just given the basics. I mean, I would have a list that would have so much written on it of what you really need to learn to do with your snake. And you have to teach your snake too, because they're teachable. They truly are. They learn a lot from us as humans. You give them trust, they'll give it back. You give them a good life, they will give back. That will shine through with them. You'll never have to worry about a snake being defensive towards you at all. If you don't pay it any attention and you don't really care and you don't bother, then you could end up with a snake that is one day much bigger, and you are not going to be able to handle it. And you don't want that. Honestly, you do not want that. And I don't care whether your snake's only going to get 5 foot or your snake is going to get 15 foot. You should do the same for each and every one of them. And I know every species is different and every species responds differently, but every one of them needs to be able to trust you. Ultimately, that's what they need to be able to do. And of course, the bonus is then giving them things like getting outside, like getting out of their enclosure and just exploring a space that you have provided for them. Jesse, come on, Boof. Come back this way. Underneath anything and everything is extremely inviting to snakes. So some stick very close to you. Others quite happy to go off and go exploring and looking, and I don't mind whatever Jesse chooses to do, he chooses to do. And the same inside, so long as he's safe and he's not doing anything that he shouldn't be doing, I'm happy to let him go. And I want you to be thinking that I can have this with my snake. I can get them out, I can spend time with them, I can take them outside, I can pretty much do anything with them, and I never have to worry about them being not so nice to me. If anything, they're going to be really nice to you because they know you care, because you're really showing them that you care about them, that they are more than just this unintelligent thing that you think doesn't have any emotions at all. They do have emotions. That's the problem. They do, and so many people do not believe that they do. And that is a huge thing for me, is people need to stop saying that they don't have any emotions, because they do. They feel grief and sadness and happiness and pain and excitement and joy and, good stuff as well as bad stuff. And be aware of that with your snake, that they are capable of all of those things. If they're capable of all of those things, you need to be doing something with them other than leaving them sit in a tub or an enclosure. You need to be doing a whole lot more with them. And understand they have emotions. It's up to us to bring them into our lives with full understanding of that and knowing how we will care for them. And the care sheet needs to change. It totally needs to change. And there needs to be words, interaction time, when to start, how to begin it, all of that sort of stuff, and the continuation of what you might be able to do with your snakes, or what you can do with your snakes, and create environments for them to enjoy. Get them outside in the sun, even though there's no sun today, and it's spitting a little bit. It's really not going to hurt Jessie at all. So just things I'd like you to think about before you go and get a snake. And if all of what I've said, you go, I'm not doing that, I'm not going to do that, no, I wouldn't do that, I don't think that's important, don't get a snake. Please don't get a snake. So I'm going to say goodbye, and we will chat again as we do. And you all take care. Ciao.